stability amongst the roster, and ultimately they're comfortable as we head into this best of 5. Braves in the blue, Wildcats in the orange.
Let's see it happen then. Oh dear, open chance first off for a Matsugaichi, but can't quite get to the finish there, so we'll go without a first goal in the first 15 seconds. But we are underway, and the onus is on the Ottawa Braves. Hey, deliver right away, Drunkly. First goal here, solid rob from the side wall. Honestly, you can't really draw that one up much better.
And it's the flip reset for me as well that just deceives that defender who's making a great run across net. Always difficult to try and get the pre-read when somebody's going directly there, but having that extra utility on your belt to just essentially just whip it out and say, hey, look, I've got this. Tell you what, someone else who almost got that. I mean, Fluke, what a great shot from him. Equally met by Christopher, and it forces Amatsugachi and the Wildcats in general to push back. A great start from the Braves.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that we're not done yet, though. These teams look hungry to score. The Wildcats look hungry to respond. They're going to get blocked away yet again. Amatsugachi trying to make this one work. Beautiful center pass down low, far side. Can't save that one even if you tried. Fluke ties it up.
His name is Fluke, but there was nothing so about this. It's a fantastic pass from Amatsugachi, utilizing the backboard and finding that perfect angle. Get your protractor out, kids, because Fluke was there. They were ready for the read. Excellent comms, tie game.
Yeah, this is going to be the dynamic of this series. Which defense is going to start to clam up a little bit harder in game one, or else are we just going to get this scoring frenzy? I know it doesn't feel like a whole lot, 2 goals in 1 minute, but it's sort of the polar opposite of that very cagey game one where teams are trying to figure each other out. Right now, nobody's afraid to take these shots on net. It's all about the defense and how quickly they respond and get this ball out of the danger zone.
I think it's time to put forward just a sorry to Amatsugachi, because there's actually a Pokemon Unite team that we casted on a lot of last season called Amaterasu. So you can understand slight bit of conflict of interest going on in my brain there. But no conflict of interest here from what I'm seeing on the pitch. Both teams are willing and ready to take the risks to move up the pitch. It's how the common meta of Rocket League works right now. You kind of got to fight fire with fire, get aggressive I should say, in the faces of your opponents. Don't think too much about your defensive duties until the moment where you're looking around you thinking, okay, I'm the anchor, I'm the last guy, because all the responsibility lands on your shoulders. Speaking of Setch, plenty of responsibility, well shouldered.
Plenty of strength in those shoulders. Trunkly goes back, tries to make it 2 for Ottawa as they continue to get chances. Support systems are really locked in as well for both of these teams. You see several chances in a row. It's now center pass goes by the wayside. Fluke trying to keep it relevant. Pops up high. Amatsugachi not there. That's a 2-on-1. Setch has clear air down the other end, but somehow enough of a piece on the ball taken aside. The Wildcats keep it clear.
I believe that was Rage there with some heroics. They're going to need them again, and he is indeed able to step up again. Big save, big moment as we hit halftime. Fluke round the corner. Oh, what a brilliant interplay. And but for the bar, Rage was almost denied the perfect box-to-box play.
It's now centered up yet again. It feels like we've been playing for quite some time, but it's still 2 minutes to play. That's a beautiful lineup for a double, but Amatsugachi lets it dribble wide. Wanted to see that one fall. Setch looking for a counter. Gets over one. Ball goes over the second. Fluke's in an awkward spot here in the corner, but again, another center pass that goes begging. It's really tough to commit everything to a play like that, but Ottawa have certainly had their chances. They're not without them. We'll have to see if they can capitalize on any one of them. Christopher's waiting on the back wall, and nobody saw it coming. Setch's name on the goal, but Christopher confused them all.
I didn't see it coming because I too was confused. I'm like, yes, they've got the save. It wasn't an orange player. We should have known. Christopher merely the bowing exit from what was an excellent maneuver. The Braves re-establishing that 1-goal lead, but with 1:40 left on the clock at kickoff, you'd imagine the Wildcats might have something else to say.
Trying to prove their mettle as the team, able to respond to any bit of adversity. Here, another pass out to the center. It goes far side. That's almost a 2-on-0, but the ball is unreachable. Setch chain dashing out here just to get that ball somewhat clear as the Wildcats look for a maintaining of this relevancy here on offense, but a demo on Amatsugachi. Ball sent to the corner. The Braves are trying to lock things down.
Here is Amatsugachi, helped out by Fluke. The Cooks are pinched, not as powerful as they would have liked. Setch taking control, taking possession, but giving up freely. There's Drunkley with the save. Has his pocket picked somewhat, and again, another shot towards net. And Amatsugachi not able to capitalize on this one, going midfield. Christopher helps it on its way. Into enemy territory it goes, but very quickly back into those enemy mitts, Gaogaen. And down the other end, a bit of a tennis match.
Back and forth we go. See what Ottawa has in response to that clear to their back wall. Amatsugachi trying to get in the way. It's a difficult back pass to Corral, but they still get it, and Ottawa bought in pretty hard to that sequence. They immediately have to back up and recuperate. Christopher with a quick jump. It's a pass right out center. Goes to the corner courtesy of Amatsugachi. Waiting there is Fluke looking for a shot. 1-on-2. Setch takes it aside, and this is where the defense has to shine for Ottawa. They've got to hold tight, try and keep this 1-goal lead. It seems like they've done it with one last power clear, a second touch as well to make it difficult to clear aside for the Wildcats, but they've got it on the sidewall. Amatsugachi has to play this one down onto the bottom, but loses the dribble, and the Ottawa Braves run away with game one. People sometimes don't like to talk about momentum in Rocket League and how it affects these players moving on, but if any visible case of a team having momentum was present here, you would think it was the Ottawa Braves, because despite it being a 1-goal victory, it felt like a powerful one.
Now it's time, though, like a good author. We do enjoy adding a couple of little things into the story. A bit of backstory, you could say, the lore to this series. Hey, remember that series loss we were talking about with the Ottawa Braves? Well, I think now would be an opportune time to mention that was a forfeit. That was a 3-0 forfeit to Oklahoma Academy. And so you might be saying, you might be looking at the stats and say, oh my goodness, Phil, first of all, let's not look at the stats. Let's look at what's happening on our screens. Almost an opening goal for the Wildcats. Might still be the clearance there. But ultimately, the Ottawa Braves, they've lost 5 games across what could technically be 9 games, including the 3 series that they've already competed in, because they haven't taken part in 3, right? They've only taken part in the 2 series fully. So really, with the exception of that forfeit, they too are unbeaten.
Now, I don't want to play devil's advocate and linger on this point too long, but it could be that the forfeit gave them 3 automatic losses, possibly, and that they've only dropped 2 actual games of Rocket League. Despite all of that, I don't think we have to worry anymore. I think the Ottawa Braves are here to play. They've proven it at the start of Game 2. This series could turn ugly for the Wildcats real quick.
I rambled on a bit too much there in that first minute. Let's keep it short and sweet, shall we? Excellent dunk. It's a simple doink onwards. Momentum on the ball. Catches out the last defender. Braves 1-0.
Fair enough. They continue on as if, nothing ever happens. Same as it ever was for the Wildcats, with all the work to do, all of the onus resting on their shoulders. Maybe not as strong as Setch's in game number 1, but trying to condition them to do just that. Fluke runs on the goal line to try and find some bit of a confusion play on the defense, but the Braves still stand tall. Setch will take this from the backboard, force it to a challenge with Fluke. It's popped up. Amatsugachi wants a shot, not going to get it. We still want to see some action from Rage, it feels like, but oh dear, 2-0, you know where that ball's going. Setch gets Ottawa up by 2.
2 is the number, isn't it? And the most important score at the top of the screen is that of the score line. WSC Wildcats. Maybe time to look at their previous results. They beat Spartans 3-0. They beat OC 3-0. They beat Concordia St. Paul, OC 3-1, I should say. St. Paul 3-1 also. Guess what, Gaogaen? Those 3 currently occupy the bottom 3 positions in the league. Are the Braves their first true challenge of the semester?
The wake-up call, if it were one, for the Wildcats. Well, they're certainly hearing the alarm bells ringing. They might hear that final call of the boxing ring if they can't pick up the pace and throw some punches of their own here. The Wildcats halfway through game number 2, still scoreless. Amatsugachi wants another double, but again sends it wide. Difficult angle to control, but Fluke puts it right back where it came from. Again, I'm still waiting for more from Rage here of the Wildcats. I feel like we haven't seen the impact of this player just yet. It's been a lot of off-ball movement with Amatsugachi and Fluke happy to try and take point here for the offense of the Wildcats, but maybe injecting Rage into the equation will get them that much closer to where they need to be. Fluke goes wide, but another save for Ottawa.
I'm glad that they're starting to pass to each other, mate, because as much as we could say, oh, Rage hasn't been talked about that much, truth of the matter is he's not done much wrong. I mean, he's played a pretty successful anchor role. We saw a bit of his box-to-box caliber earlier in game number 1. It's his two teammates who are trying to, put on the cape and go for solo plays when every time they find that second touch off the backboard, it kind of goes wayward and there's not enough support. So you're right, it either depends on Rage just throwing a bit of caution to the wind, or the Wildcats have to be a little more prudent with their possession.
Amatsugachi, well, trying to take a little bit of time, but not being afforded. Oh my goodness, Drunkly. You cannot just do that to people.
It's the hopscotch, but it's all butter, baby. What a brilliant readjustment off a pass to themselves from the crossbar. Hey, Wildcats offensive, that's how you do it.
That's insane. I get a goal scored on that. I get a goal scored on me like that, and I am instantly hitting the forfeit button. I don't know how these players feel at this time. Obviously, that's not an option. They've got to find the wherewithal to come back here, score a goal, at least one, again drop to the center, but nobody can dive for it as the Wildcats still search for the offensive spark. Amatsugachi goes high. It's still a center pass, but no race won for the Wildcats. They have to back up to the midfield line again and concede possession once more.
Reload the weaponry, head forward. Again, it hits the backboard. Oh my goodness. Drunkly with some improvised defense. That's, oh my goodness. And even the clearance from Setch isn't convincing. Wildcats must be looking and thinking, surely not our day. GG's go again. If that had been goal number 4, we really would have been seeing the FFs come out.
Sat like Napoleon on the shores. Nothing else we can do. Feels like for the Wildcats. Hopeless at their situation. Paycheck going to the post shortly after that prior sequence, but 20 seconds to play. Ottawa's freestyling out here. You're joking. 2 players going for a double. They're not going to grab, but you can't fault them for trying. They're given the space. Setch is up. Christopher's going to snake it away, and this game's over. We knew it was. Ottawa want 4, though. They want to put on a show. Could that be the one goal? It's just wide. Of course. Ottawa get the clear, and Ottawa have a chance to sweep the Wildcats, handing them their first regular season loss of the season.
Yeah, that was the Nat 1. They've tripped over their own shoelaces. This pie-in-the-face moment. But I don't think it's going to be pie in the face for much longer, because if there's one thing which I picked up on from a more analytical point of view from that final minute, is that the Braves were getting pretty darn complacent. I know it was the final couple of seconds, 30 seconds to 60 or whatever, but the Wildcats a little bit more to the right. It's 3-1. They have a consolation goal. They have something to go into what could be the final game of this series with. If we see any more of that from the Braves, they are going to lose game number 3. It's as simple as that.
This double touch, they'll just tap it to the corner, and then we can get another shot recycled. It's that level of confidence from Otto. All right. You know what, Reliq? You got this. Have fun.
It's my birthday, Gaogaen. You can't disagree with me. You can't disagree with me. To be fair, you can't disagree with this. Straight off the rip, the Wildcats are onto it now. This could actually work against the Wildcats long term, because they've got that early goal. If there was a wake-up call required, then the Braves have heard the alarms ringing in their ears loud and truly now. Here's Setch, for example. There was a shot from someone who came in at the bottom of our picture. It was Christopher, ultimately, who shoots wide. But like you say, the aggressive threat is still there. For me, though, the Wildcats, they've done 70-80% of the good work. Their performance overall hasn't been bad. It's just Ottawa have taken their chances. WSC have not.
See, what concerns me, though, is the Wildcats look like they want to play slow defensively, and it's not going to work. They want to try and bait in the Ottawa players to be aggressive and overstep their boundaries. But there's no boundaries for the Braves right now. They own the entire pitch as far as it's concerned. They find a quick equalizer here, and I agree with you. This could work against the Wildcats very quickly.
just a moment there where they really needed to be a bit more proactive. I realize they don't want to give off the desperation vibe, because that gives the Braves all the incentive they require to play mental games in the final third, to slow things down, to change up the momentum. Now, this really is an affront. Forget the freestyling. To run the Vitality livery, disgusting, almost as disgusting as that bump play. They are not rewarded, though.
Nah, it's all about the mentality. You've got to rep the decal out of respect for the team. It just brings you into another form. I wouldn't know. I hadn't bought it because it's quite honestly the most wild team decal I've ever seen. But to each their own, I guess. We're 90 seconds into game number 3. The Wildcats feel closer than ever before to finding their way back in and finally getting 2 goals in 1 game and making pretty quick work of it too.
And hey, it's Rage who gets that initial shot, commits Christopher, and it lines up so perfectly for Fluke. The entire net at his mercy. But it was well struck with good power too. So as much as a lot of the credit should go down to the accuracy side of things, unsavable for anybody who was in net. Such was the velocity that was arriving at.
But that's exactly what we got at the beginning of game 1 as well. The pass from Amatsugachi down towards the center, and then Fluke hits it far side. Unsavable. That connection paired with that shot accuracy is what the Wildcats like to do best. It's their comfort zone. But now off the ceiling, Rage trying to make a big impact play. Amatsugachi's shot saved away on the rebound, and Sech will get a clear, so the Braves see their way out of a very precarious situation. Drunkly just not to the ball in time. It was an absolute heater from the top of the corner, however. The Ottawa Braves being shut out a bit more than they were earlier on.
Braves not trick-or-treating. They're here to knock the house door down. Sech to Drunkly. Backboard. Final touch. Oh, chef's kiss. All 3 players involved in this equalizer.
And that's the issue for the Wildcats right now, is even if you snake away that double from Sech, the Ottawa Braves still have such a solid chance of scoring. The Wildcats, they not only have to recover defensively, but they've got to make that snap decision, that reaction on where to go. It's very difficult to read at that pace of play, so we're all square. Halfway through game 3, the pressure's solely on the Wildcats right now, as the intensity cannot drop for a second. The Ottawa Braves are already pre-jumping in the middle of the field, and they've got the ball stuck in the corner as a result. Wildcats got to try and get on the ascendancy right here. This one's gone through. It's under the bar. What happened?
That is a head-in-hands moment if ever I have seen it. It's such a simple lift. And I don't know whether Sech was worried about Fluke getting a demo, and maybe that's what adjusted the flight plan. But they missed the radar tower. They missed the message to actually hit the ball in the end. Wildcats with a gift, but there's still 2 minutes left.
Plenty of work to be done. Ottawa trying to get feisty here. Bump some players out of the box. Low pass, it's picked off. It's just inside that far post, and Amatsugachi gets a hat trick going.
Load the magazine in and throw that scope on from downtown. That would have gone wide in game 1 or game 2, I can guarantee you that, but momentum starting to shift back into the favor of the Wildcats. Quite extraordinary, Gaogaen. I think that in the space of this series alone, they've already lost more, or they've already lost the same amount of games than they have in the season thus far. That's 3 series in a row. But yet, they are top of the table for a reason. They put goals away, they put teams away with comfort, and maybe the revenge tour is on.
Trying to prove that the chips on their shoulders are just flashes in the pan. Their shoulders are just as strong as Sech's. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep going back to this reference, but it still rings true. The Wildcats resilient as ever. 80 seconds now on the clock for the Braves to try and make a difference. They're certainly getting their opening passes going, but the same level of offensive efficiency, waiting to find it. Oh my, beautiful putback from Drunkly. The initial shot from Sech was not powerful enough, but it was pushed just barely over the line.
It's the old Achilles heel though. Amatsugachi needs to pre-read that a little earlier when you've got your opponent so close to the ball. I understand that there's a thought of, oh, well, what if they fake me? But they are literally so close to the goal. You don't risk anything by placing your car in the proverbial middle of the road.
Oh dear. Pass over As we near 60 seconds, a lot of players missing here. Leaves the lane open for Drunkly. Did not get the exit off the sidewall. They may have won it. Amatsugachi blocked, however, from progressing that ball any further than the corner. Another challenge out here. Setch looking for a center pass. Gets demoed as a result. Rage able to get a nice challenge, but Drunkly was in the right spot at the right time to receive. Fluke with a big block out through the corner. And the Wildcats doing a great job to keep their zone clear. They've got the 1-goal lead. Make it 2. Amatsugachi can't be stopped right now.
That's redemption. That's redemption in a big way. Mistake from Setch, sure, but Amatsugachi is there. Puts it away with aplomb. Christopher simply too slow to react. 34 seconds, 2-goal advantage for the Braves. It just seems too big a gap to traverse.
To see if they've got anything left in the tank or if they want to save it for game 4. Doesn't seem too keen to just sit idly by, and Setch makes it within 1. You've got to think that if any team has a chance to bring this back at least to OT, it's got to be Ottawa.
Here's another check on the bingo calendar. Shut up, Mr. Commentator. 23 seconds for 1 goal. All of a sudden, one kickoff situation can evolve into disaster. The Wildcats cannot seem to let the Braves go, but demos in the midfield like this, intelligent from Rage 32, makes the job of transitioning into the blue half a little easier. Amatsugachi loses out on this one, but it's a huge clearance now. Amatsugachi round the corner, nobody willing to commit to it. Going more defensive, conservative from the Wildcats. Will that bite them in the rear? We're not too sure for the moment. It all depends on this kick-up play. There's a chance, there's a shot opportunity, and they got it, but the ball had other ideas, hits the ground before the goal mouth.
One of the Wildcats' early goals as well, and we called out that connection between Amatsugachi and Fluke and trying to make that near unsavable shot happen. That is the theme for this series right here. Shot placement is so crucial because these teams, if they do make a mistake, it's ever so slightly being off on that defensive step back into the zone. That's where teams need to capitalize.
Well, there's 1 pip on the board for the Wildcats, 2 more to find for the legendary reverse sweep that so many teams savor, but not many teams actually want to achieve. They'll take the 3-0 any day of the week. Braves, they've been pegged back by 1. Now how will they respond? They certainly weren't short of goals, but they were shorter of actual opportunity creation. They're going to have to try and find a new way through the midfield, it seems, to try and dispel this Wildcat threat.
Find out. We're already just about a minute in. Could be the first goal here, and Rage, way to make an entrance into the goal-scoring column. No doubt about that one. It's a beautiful challenge as well, forced from the corner, right off the ceiling. Man, Rage never had a doubt about that.
And Setch did have lots of doubts about it. You could see they were pressed up a little bit too far. The better starting position for them is on that goal mouth, if not ideally behind. So they've got the wider picture of what sort of trajectory they need. As it happened, they were being asked to go up 90 degrees, if not more acutely. Was a very difficult save to make, if it could be made at all.
Oh dear. Setch finds an avenue through. Fluke takes it aside, high up above the crossbar. Christopher with another challenge, eerily similar to the opportunity that the Wildcats just scored, but the Braves can't get their wits about them. Outlet pass goes off to the side, and Fluke, no resistance home, but even if there was, you question whether or not they could have gotten in front of that one.
My first question is, why was Christopher where he was? We saw he was sort of, like a spider, just sort of stuck on the sidewall, watching the rest of his team push up. No, I mean, honestly, they could have taken that first shot opportunity and still scored, but I like counting the numbers and seeing that somebody else is running on here. They've got a better chance. They can see more of the pitch than I do. Intelligent play from the Wildcats.
I think this is such an interesting thing about this series, though, is I don't doubt the Ottawa Braves' ability to score fantastic goals and get back into this. But at the same time, I don't think I've ever felt as sure as I do right now that we're going to Game 5. And as a byproduct, it feels like the Wildcats are winning this series right now, even though in every literal respect, they are not currently winning this series. Something about them has seriously sparked here.
Well, confidence is broken for the Braves as well to put up 4 and still not find the game win. It's a save from Setch, and Ottawa Braves need something from this, really. It's Drunkly, leaves it on the backboard. Shot and found, sunk by Setch.
Yeah, we're really starting to see a theme here. These these goal finishes that happen just as quickly as you're able to see it come to fruition. It's been fluke oftentimes for the Wildcats, and I think Setch and Drunkly have been kind of changing hands with that regard for the Ottawa Braves, but the point still stands. If somebody can take that shot at close range very quickly, teams are going to have a lot of difficult time saving away. One of these times the Matsugachi is going to get that double, and it's going to be amazing.
There was some mustard on that back pass. Great challenge. Thrown away. Drunkly chases, 2v1. Lovely pop-up, but goes a bit too wide. And now there are already players back. Rage 32 steps in right down the other end. Too heavy a touch on his side of things as well. Mistakes from both sides as the transitional phases kind of collapse before they even truly begin.
And you can really see the teams try to pick up the pieces after those mistakes. Not many pieces to pick up other than those of Rage's car, demoed at the near post. Centered now, attempting at least. Drunkly can't get it out through the corner. Matsugachi will try and block. It's slower play. This is where the Wildcats have tried to get comfortable on defense, but again, they've got burnt on it. This has happened more than once where they can't get the ball moving quickly, and the Braves love to pick that ball clean.
Sorry, Rage. That's on you. I realize that you got another player on the backboard, but that player is marooned. They're stranded. You've got to take responsibility for that situation and find the block, quite frankly, because that teammate who you think might have a good chance at getting it, well, they're going to be your best shot at the counter-attack. Oh, Setch wasn't taking no for an answer.
An insane way to cap off a hat trick outside of 90 seconds. Got it past everyone and fought tooth and nail to get that ball in against everything that the woodwork can do to deny it. The Ottawa Braves have flipped this game and potentially this series right onto its head.
That might be game over. That might be all she wrote, especially if they can find a fourth, but they still got to do that defensive administration to the Ottawa Braves. We know where their complacency has gotten them before. Up it goes. Backboard defense. Both miss. Drunkly doesn't.
Big read there to deliver. Setch had some clear air. It was a little bit of resistance, but like you say, 2 misses, and Drunkly has a free shot to take. Ottawa Braves, they find that fourth, that all-important fourth. It feels like the distance is starting to grow, and the Wildcats, all that momentum feels like it's starting to deflate.
82 in 70, and there's number 1, Fluke, with some brutal venom.
Again, just the powerful shot from close range. It's a beautiful center pass out from the corner from Rage, but Fluke gets to that ball before a defender can reasonably react, and there's plenty of time for the Wildcats to get back in this. We are just, again, the analogy of a tennis match. Back and forth we go. It feels like these teams cannot get each other out of the way.
And it was right in the faces of the Wildcats. 1-1-1 at kickoff. Yes, indeed. 1 goal is all you need to try and equalize, to take it to overtime, to look to force that game number 5. But the Ottawa Braves, they'll be seeking out that 5th good opportunity now. Drunkly gets, oh wow, sells out the defender, wins the challenge. Here's another shot in. That's not a great clearance, and it trickles across the goal mouth. Close one.
It's right where Ottawa want to be. Awkward defense from the Wildcats. They can't get it clear, and you can see now how the Braves want this Setch double. It's a big clear. It's exactly what the Wildcats needed, but Rage had no boost to get up for the redirect. Now, another attempt from Matsugachi out of the corner. Doesn't find anything. Everybody has to back up a bit as Setch gets another challenge through, and the Ottawa Braves look to lock things down. Again, series could be done and dusted if we continue here. Wildcats with 10 seconds to score.
They need the clear. They need the clear now. It's gone straight into the face of Setch, who moves up forward again. It's a miss. They're nervy, the Wildcats. Oh, it's a huge mistake! No way! How to throw away a lead? 101.
You've absolutely delivered the ball on a silver platter, and the Wildcats are eating good tonight. But the meal's not finished. Last desserts here in Game 4. It's overtime.
Extraordinary scenes. I kind of see what he was doing, keeping it planted to the floor so that that timer hit 0 as soon as possible. Could not have timed it any worse, in fact. Towards the net. Shot saved by Christopher.
If the Ottawa Braves suffer another 5-4 loss, to send them to game 5. I need to commend the script writers, and my goodness, the Wildcats are doing everything in their power to make sure that happens. They have owned the first 30 seconds of this overtime. They don't want to give up that pressure. Big challenges here. Drunkly receives the ball. It's not clear air, however. Another challenge through. Everybody's out of position. But again, a restructuring there from the Ottawa Braves. They get it moving the other way. Such quick shot on, and they try to set up shop.
Lost that 100 boost. Rage has got the most of anyone in the tank. In fact, there's nothing in the tank for anyone else. Straight to Christopher. Bar knows a bump, and it's surely going in. No, it's not! Sedge denied off the line, but there's still no clearance. They're still in danger. Will Robinson, where are you? Finally over the halfway line.
Trying to poke some holes in the backboard of the Wildcats, but they get it clear. Amatsugaki trying to pick up after that initial touch. Fluke waiting for the challenge, waits too long. Setch beats 2 over the top, but a beautiful save from Fluke. It's centered out. Drunkly collects. Not out of the woods just yet are the Wildcats. Drunkly looking for a flick, gets the center pass, but it's blocked aside. The Wildcats looking for the counter. Setch, enough of a clear. It's another chance, though. Again, back and forth we go.
Setch is literally Atlas right now, carrying the entire team on the shoulders. Oh, Christopher off the bar. Surely, there he is. Man of the moment, 5-4 again. This time in favor of the Braves.
The only 5 we see, the 5 for Ottawa. No game of the sort for the series, and the Wildcats heartbroken that they did everything in their power to get to this stage, but they fell.